Hi, are you Brittany?
Yep,
Is it okay if I call you by your first name?
sure.
All right, well, I'm Brooke. I'm going to be working with you over the next few months on your CPS case. So, my role in your service plan will be talking to you about why you're here, things that you feel like are important to you and important to your case, and then there are also a few mandated things that your caseworker really wanted me to cover with you. That's going to be parenting techniques that maybe you haven't thought of before, and then also just basic child development, like what your kids should and shouldn't be doing at different times during their life. What kind of things are you hoping to get out of us being here today?
I guess I have to be here, but I don't feel like I really need help with parenting.
Okay. Well, what I have here is that you were referred because your kids were found playing outside near the street when you weren't home. And then, whenever the CPS workers came to investigate, you tested positive for marijuana. And then they also have some concerns about some possible domestic violence that occurred between you and the children's father at some point in the past.
Well, I can tell you I'm a great mom. I'm always safe around my kids. And that day that they're talking about, the neighbor lives next door. She was watching them. And the
Mm-hmm.
marijuana, I never do marijuana around my kids. I only, do it with my friends and only whenever my mom's watching the kids, never around them. And I've never put them in any danger, nor will I ever put them in any danger. And I mean, the violence shouldn't even be an issue. That was a couple years ago, and the kids weren't here, and he's not in my life anymore, so they're not in any danger.
Okay. So you feel kind of like you've been unfairly selected to participate in all of this stuff with CPS.
Exactly.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about the events that led up to CPS getting involved. What did your neighbor say when you asked her if she could watch the kids?
She said, yeah, I'm just doing dishes. I can watch them out the window. I was called into work at the last minute, so I really had no choice. I can't bring the kids to work. And my mom was working as well, so I trust my neighbor. She's a good lady. She's got grandkids of her own, so she kept an eye on them.
Okay. And where do you work?
I work down at the law office in Richmond.
Okay. So those hours can be kind of crazy sometimes, and it's hard to get a babysitter.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay, well, it
And
sounds.
and really, the neighbor said the kids were safe. I think it was just people overreacting, and I understand they want to watch out for my kids. I appreciate that, but I just feel like it's gotten blown out of proportion.
Okay. All right. Well, now that we're already here, and now that this is required, and we have to meet, we might as well both try to get something out of it. So, what is it if you had to think about anything that you would want to talk about with me? Anything about your job that stresses you out? Maybe something that your kids do that you'd like to talk about? Your relationship with your mom? Your relationship with the kid's father? What kind of things are bugging you?
Well, their father hasn't been an issue, but I just want to make sure that they're safe and protected from him, and he hasn't threatened to try to see them, but I just want to make ensure that for their safety. But
Right.
that's really my only concern.
Okay. So you just want to be sure that he doesn't have contact with them at all?
Yes.
Gotcha. And then what do you think about your work schedule? Do you think that that's going to continue to be an issue? Maybe that's something we could look at is trying to find some consistent babysitting.
Well, yeah, it's usually some consistency would be nice. My mom can usually watch the kids, like I said, it just that would happen to be a bad day. But
Okay.
having a babysitter on hand would, be nice for backup.
Right. So it sounds like your mom's a really big support for you.
Right.
That's good. That's great to have supportive people in your life, especially whenever you've got all this CPS stuff added onto your workload. I know it can be really difficult. So I'm glad that we're going to be able to talk about that stuff over the coming weeks, and I hope that we can find a way to make this beneficial to you and feel like you're not wasting your time. We're going to be meeting twice a month, so every other Friday. If that needs to change because of your work schedule, I just ask that you give me a couple days notice. That would be great, and we could definitely work something out. Do you think that would be possible?
That's fine. How long is it going to last for?
Well, a CPS case can last up to 12 months. That'll just kind of depend on how everybody thinks that you're doing. That means your caseworker, me as your therapist, and any other services that you've been required to complete by CPS.
All right. Well, hopefully we can wrap this up in a couple weeks and you'll see that I'm a good mom.
I believe you that you're a good mom, absolutely, and I can tell already that you want your kids to be safe and that you really do care about them, and that's an amazing strength that you have. I hope that you don't think that I am coming at this thinking that you are a bad person or anything like that. Just your willingness to come here is great.
Well,
All
you
right.
seem really nice and I appreciate all your explanation.
All right. Well, let me just tell you a couple more things about how this will work, and then we'll end it for today. Um, every month, I'll be writing an assessment to go back to your social worker. So that's not going to be every single detail of what we said. It's going to be more like a general summary of what we've been covering, what I feel like you're really excelling at, things that I think maybe we need to work a little more on, stuff like that. I definitely want you to have a significant say in what we're doing. So if you ever have any questions about our progress or what we're going to do in the next meeting or anything like that, I absolutely ask me. I'll always answer your questions. And then I know that your caseworker went over mandated reporting with you, but just as a reminder, if when we're talking you do tell me that you or your husband has ever physically or sexually assaulted your children, that's something that I'll have to report back to CPS as well.
Well, that's not an issue.
Okay, great. All right, so will it work for you to meet 2 Fridays from now at the same time?
Um, can I check my schedule and call you tomorrow?
Absolutely. Let me
Okay.
give you my number.
Okay.
It is 832-344-6011. And that's my office number, and if I don't answer, I will get back to you in the next 24 hours. I'm usually really good about answering my messages.
Okay.
Okay? It was nice to meet you, Brittany. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Thanks.
Uh-huh.